Alex, how are you doing today, buddy?
Are we back now?
I think we're back, but
Is that what Drew said earlier, or you're just making stuff up now?
look, I don't want to get into the Hess truck again because it's been a few weeks, and we're actually much closer to Christmas this year that the Hess truck will be here. But we still need to do that at some point. We need to do ranking the Hess trucks of our lifetime as a thing because for a toy I never had a single one of, it's a big part of my life.
That shows the age, don't it?
What,
It just shows the age that you're bringing back the old iconic jingle.
sir? That was the best part about Christmas. About not about Christmas, but it was the best part about like post Halloween, like the last, not quite Thanksgiving, but like the last couple weeks of November leading into December was you'd be watching TV and the friggin' Hess truck ad would come on. It was the absolute best.
They don't make Christmas ads like they used to anymore. But
And then there was the M&M Santa ad.
yeah,
They're real, he's real. Uh, what are other kind of goated Christmas themed ads? As if that's like a thing.
oh the Sprite cranberry, the LeBron commercial.
I haven't seen it.
You definitely know it, but you, I feel like if you saw it again, I think you'd know. It's one of those ads. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
It's definitely one of those ads where you know it when it's on, but you forget about it the rest of the year.
That's completely fair. I feel like, to be fair, I think that's well. First of all, the Hess truck killed it on marketing because we are in our late 20s, and we still are talking about the Hess truck on a random Thursday in November,
Maybe like
and it lives
maybe
rent and that
15 years outside of its popularity.
yeah, and it lives rent free in my head. Which, to be fair, of
Just
all
like,
the things that could live rent free, I think this is one of the best ones.
just like my take on Skyline chili, but we'll save that for another day.
Sir, we don't say blasphemous things in this podcast.
One could argue that we have.
Yes, actually, I think most of what we say is blasphemous, but that's neither here nor there.
No, I think I managed to piss off the entire city of Cincinnati with one Jamar Chase take a couple years ago,
It wasn't the
which as a
worst take
Steelers
ever
fan,
either.
it wasn't.
It wasn't an accurate take, but it wasn't the worst take. I think the worst take has to go to me putting my blinder goggles on and thinking the Browns were going to actually be really good this year. Which, by
How's
the
that
way,
working for you?
technically speaking, they can still be a 10-win team because they've had their
Just
bye.
gotta
They just
gotta
have to
win
win
out,
out.
right?
All they have to do is win out. No big deal. But they won't.
I wouldn't.
They won't.
I'm surprised the Steelers are at where they're at. I'm gonna say that.
The Steelers have done the same thing they've done the last 3 years. Surprised me in
Longer.
the much better than I thought they were going to be way, and the Browns are kind of surprising me in the other way. And it hurts.
It's almost like I think for how the Steelers play, like we have a quarterback, but it's like we didn't plan for after this quarterback. You know what I mean? Like we didn't plan for after Aaron Rodgers, so we're kind of back to where we started.
It's fine because, for the record, the Browns decided that they were going to get quarterbacks, but no offensive line, is what it feels like.
Yeah,
That's the problem. But
that sounds about right. But
that's
Browns also fun. That's also part of the Browns being the Browns strategy. If that makes any sense.
you're not wrong. It hurts me to say that you're not wrong, but you're not wrong. I gotta fix the gap on the logo. It looks terrible. It's upsetting me. This is what happens when you let me cook. I think right there is gonna be the most centered I can get it. It's not a lot of a difference, but it's enough of a difference that it'll be noticeable. Sorry. So let's actually talk about today, Alex, and maybe push this in the forward sort of direction.
Yep.
So, what do we got on tap for today, sir? Because apparently we're a brewery and we're serving up drinks, but instead of drinks, it's obscure sports stuff coming from two men that have worked inside the industry.
No industry talk yet. Still working on that part, but
It's a little easier when we're both inside actively, I
inside
think.
the game, we're both in the game. That'd be nice.
Are we EA Sports now?
I mean,
Come on, you said it's in the
I
game.
mean,
You have
that's the
to.
former athlete. I mean, obviously, right? I, so I think the roadmap we threw together is obviously the obscure continuation as
Mhm.
we work our way towards the end of that.
Yeah, we have, after this week, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 more possible matchups. So there's 16 teams we haven't done, which means, by the way, we're only like halfway through the league.
And
I mean, we're only
then
doing
you that
2.
was the plan. That was the long term plan too, is to stretch this thing out as far as you can go.
Also, I think
Pause.
giving us a week or more to actually like do it is nice because we actually are definitely pulling not necessarily more obscure people, but we're pulling those more obscure stops.
And I
And
think that's
and again,
where
it's more obscure in our limited knowledge pool. Um,
I mean, I think what helps it too is just like the fact we go with the baseball cards to like as our here's our point.
yeah. No,
Like the
I
baseball cards,
don't worry. I'm
I think
back on the trend of having at least one guy on my roster that doesn't have a baseball card for his team.
I had to pull a minor league card for one of mine.
I've had to do that
So
too, but
I think it's the wrong affiliate, but it's the only one I could find.
that's fine. No big deal.
Oh, all right.
But
I think you can
so
lead off this one, bro.
we'll be doing Mariners-Brewers. We'll talk a little bit about our reactions to the World Series as that did just end this past weekend. It doesn't feel like it was just this past weekend, but it was. And we'll finish it up with me trying to guess the CUSA from, what did you say, 2000, 2001?
Is 0102.
Oh, 102. Okay. I might have put 0001
No,
on the.
I fixed it. I fixed it in the sheet, so we're good there.
No, I know, but for the title, I probably have the wrong.
I think I fixed it.
Well, the actual title, You Can't Touch. You said it's 0102.
Yeah, I might have fixed it on the tweet at least, but we'll
Your
see.
tweet might have fixed it. My tweet wasn't fixed,
No,
but
I messed it up.
it's fine. It's whatever. It's no big deal. I've updated the actual title to the show here, so hopefully it'll be right. If nothing else, when you pull it and go to upload it, you can fix it, and I'll look like more of an idiot than I already do. But that's not a big deal or a surprise. So, would you like to lead with the Mariners, sir? Your
I'm gonna hand that
obscure
off to you,
Mariners.
sir. Actually, no, I'm gonna let you cook first.
All right. I was on your tab, so
Oh, I wouldn't go by that.
so for my all-time obscure Seattle Pilots / Milwaukee Brewers, I have at starting pitcher Jim Abbott. At catcher, I have noted Pittsburgh Pirate Jason Kendall. I honestly, even though I've known this for a long time, every time I see Jason Kendall on any other team, any of his other baseball cards, I'm like, no, that's wrong. You're a Pittsburgh Pirate. You always were a Pittsburgh Pirate. Fun fact, he wasn't always a Pittsburgh Pirate.
He had a few. He played a lot of his career in the Midwest, didn't he not?
He played most of his career for the Pirates, and then I think he jumped around a little bit near the end, if I
I think it
remember
was the A's.
correctly.
I think he was on the A's in MVP 05, if I'm not mistaken. There.
I believe you are mistaken because he was a Pirate still. I believe he was
He was an A.
traded. I believe he was traded during that season, but because they didn't have roster updates back in the good old days, you would have had to do it manually. But
actually I'm right. 05 he was there. I pulled up Baseball Reference.
okay, but I thought he was an MVP as a Pirate. I don't have my PlayStation hooked up to confirm. Yes, I do have my copy of MVP 05 in my apartment right now.
That is the that's the greatest baseball. You know what? That's another idea. I'm gonna table
But
that for
yep,
after we
yep.
get off.
No, I agree. We are gonna do exactly what you're thinking, and it's with the Rays. Don't worry. But at first base, I have Yasmani Grandal. At second base, I have Willie Randolph. At third base, I have Josh Donaldson, which I didn't know until today that he was. You that
I threw you off your
populated
game.
whatever. Um, well, because I was just seeing that it was popping up on the actual stream. Because the chat messages pop up just above where the video's cut. So that's fine. At third base, I have Josh Donaldson, which I didn't know until today that he played for the Brewers when I was finishing it up. Yes,
When was that?
2014. I literally was pulling via Baseball Reference.
As we always do, for the record. But
At shortstop, I have Julio Franco. At left field, I have Frank Catalanato, which, by the way, a theme of this was I tried to get. I realized I used Jim Abbott twice. Whatever, no big deal. The second Jim Abbott's just going to be Trevor Hoffman. At center field, I have Curtis Granderson. At right field, I have a guy you might have heard of him. He played in Milwaukee previously to his stop with the Brewers, Hank Aaron. Although I put him in the sheet as Henry Louis Aaron, I used his legal name. At DH, I have one of the best names that's ever been in baseball, in my opinion, Lyle Overbay. Just a great name. And then my other three pitchers are Gary Bell, Trevor Hoffman, and Rob Dibble. Because apparently Rob Dibble also pitched for the Brewers. And I could have used Eric Gagne. So the fact that in our sheet I put Jim Abbott twice, that was just a typo on my end.
You gonna sub him out or?
Yeah. I'm subbing him out for Trevor Hoffman.
All right.
So I will make that change in our sheet, but just for your reference, I just realized I put him twice. There were some names.
There.
To be fair, before you move on, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to top Sammy Sosa, noted Texas Ranger.
That was just the way you phrased that too. When we were going through that list, was just a great way to phrase it. Is just, I think when I've responded to people on socials about some of the players, like, no, you got it wrong. It's noted Texas Ranger or whatever team it was. But
well, still, like, it's funny because obviously everyone, or what was very popular for a little while was Immaculate Grid, right? And that's kind of sort of where this idea that's sort of where this idea spurred from. Was like, hey, who can we get there? Just be like obscure, immaculate grid answers, but it's not an obscure guy, you know. So when I found out Sammy Sosa played for the Rangers, I was like, I'm definitely gonna be like noted Texas Ranger. Definitely didn't play anywhere else. Definitely doesn't have one of his most famous images be with the Cubs. And I'm not talking about the summer of '98 with the home run race. I'm talking about post 9/11, running on the field with the American flag.
I think that's when he got a citizen. I thought that was when he got his citizenship too, but I could also be tripping on
It could be
timeline of when
very
events here.
close in time. I don't remember,
That might have been Manny Ramirez too, because Manny Ramirez did the same thing.
but
I think it was for him.
but I remember like seeing that image on like Sports Center in like 2000. It would have been
Yeah.
2001 when Sosa runs on the field with the kind of hilariously small American flag. But it was one of those things where I was like, oh, this is so fucking cool. I love sports. So,
I think it's just the nationalism in sports is something that you can take in either direction. But I think when you know it's for the in a good, everybody's kind of in the same lane kind of way. Like I think there's nothing better.
oh, I agree. And I think Four Nations face off, kind of pivoting to alluding to what we'll be doing as our next set of obscure stops, being ice hockey. The Four Nations face off kind of capitalized on that nationalism, at least with Canadians and Americans. I can't really speak on the two European countries as much, but I feel like Canadians and Americans, you really had that, and it helps that the tournament was in Canada and U.S., Canada and the United States, being Montreal and Boston, respectively.
And then I think the hockey series is going to be more creative. I think because baseball, we've kind of, man, that's kind of the beauty of this too is like we're able to copy and paste a lot of names because I think you're going to hear a few names that we've used before.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's also one of those things where it's like, you're like, oh, I didn't realize this dude was as much of a journeyman as he is. Ooh,
I think
that was a
like
oh, good hit. Sorry, I'm watching the Canes and Wild game on my projector, so it's right over my camera. So if I'm wincing, it's because I'm watching hockey, and there are some nice big hits going getting laid.
I've heard a rumor that the human body craves contact, so we're just going to roll with that theory there.
All right, buddy, go ahead
All
with
right.
your all-time obscure Seattle Mariners, which again, you definitely got the harder one on this because they're not a very old team.
No, but actually, I think I did pretty good for what hand I got.
I was gonna say there's only a couple names I'm looking at on this list where I'm like, I really don't know who he is, and that's not bad.
I think I know. I think I know where you're going. But
I think there's
starting
two.
off, and I will. I'm gonna guess who they are after. Let's put it that way.
I'm sorry, it's three.
All right. I will guess them after.
Okay.
So on the mound is Eric Bedard, noted journeyman, biggest claim to fame probably with the Orioles. Behind the plate, Kenji Jojima. He's one of those Japanese players that played in the bigs for a bit and just I believe he went back to Japan after about 4 or 5 years with the Mariners. So it's kind of one of those trends that you see a lot. At first base is Logan Morrison. At second base, I think people forget that he wasn't in Arizona first. That'd be Ketel Marte. I could have plugged him in a few different spots in this lineup based on where he's used, but for a context of second base, I'll put him there. At third base, I'll put Rich Arulia. At shortstop, Omar Vizquel, noted Cleveland Guardian. Left field has Ricky Henderson
He's pretty good at
in his
baseball.
journeyman, yeah, definitely in his journeyman era of his career at that point when he landed in Seattle. In center field, just kind of one I just plugged a name in there. I kind of was looking at utility guys that played the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And noted one-time Red Sox manager Bobby Valentine happened to fill the void there. He was with the team in 1979, I believe.
So I'm gonna cut you off here. I almost put David Bell on my Brewers team because he also was a former player for the Brewers, but I found other guys that I thought were better names.
And then in right field, another noted Boston Red Sox of Willie Mo Pena. And I forgot bro. I actually forgot this man existed for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then to keep the Red Sox trend going, we're going to put Carl Everett at DH. But wait, there's another Red Sox in my bullpen here, Derek Lowe. So I was kind of looking through his baseball reference page, and I forgot that he got traded, I think, with Veritek to the Red Sox. I forget for what that deal actually entailed, but I just remember I believe he and Veritek were packaged together to go to the Red Sox in '97,
Which is
and then
absurd, by the way.
that's one of those crazy trades of like you don't think about things panning out, and then it just pans out that way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then I've used Brett Tomko before, and I'm going to use him again. And then to wrap out the bullpen is going to be Bud Black, who was with the team in '81, but the only baseball card that I was able to find was with the Lynn Sailors of the Eastern League back in the late '70s, early '80s, I believe.
So I have to make an assumption that it means Lynn, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, there were three names on that list I did not know.
Was one of them Kenji Jojima?
100%, that was one of them.
That name was. I think I had his baseball card, so I think that's why it stuck in my head for so
It's
long.
fine. I wanted to use Junior Spivey for my Brewers team, but I was like, he's too obscure of a player because I realized he didn't play for very long when I actually
I feel
looked at
like
his stuff.
No, that's why I feel like Jojima was kind of a fringe pull there, but it was like he was only a Mariner, so I felt like if he
Mm-hmm.
was only a if he moved somewhere else, he would have been. If he went to a different MLB club, he would have been obscure for that club more so than the Mariners. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was really that bad of a. It wasn't really that bad of a list. A lot of this kind of came together in those Griffey Jr., A Rod, Randy Johnson years, actually.
It's fine. I realized
But
that I basically just did the 2013 Brewers. When I looked at the team, it's like all these guys played in like 2013 and 14 when the Brewers
that's fine.
had just obscure dudes. So, Alex, our next, because I believe I had choice this time, so it'll be your choice. And
I'm looking. I'm looking at it on Twitch right now.
Angels, Dodgers.
Well, I'll take the Doyers on that one.
You're gonna take the Dodgers.
I'm gonna give you your favorite team, bro. Unless you want to
Dod-
trade. If you want I'll trade you. Unless you want to deal with your favorite baseball team.
There is no more miserable baseball team ever than the Angels.
I was kind of hoping we landed on that one just so I could kind of ponder it, but like, you're probably gonna.
I'm not gonna lie, of all the remaining groups, I think this is the easiest one.
Well, the Angels have like basically a laundry list.
Oh, the Angels are. Were you good at one point in your career? You probably were an
Maybe
Angel.
that's
But the point you played for the Angels is when you sucked.
or took a lot of money, if not both, at the same time.
I mean, both these teams are that way. In
The
the
Dodgers actually just overpay and win the World Series, but that's neither here nor there.
Look, the Dodgers took a gamble and it paid off.
They made secure investments and it worked out in their favor.
So that'll be on tap for next time. And we'll actually have it next time. It won't be like, oh, we'll have it next time, and then 7 shows later we'll
We'll
actually do it.
we'll scrap it for like a month. Yeah. I was hoping I just dug you a segue there, but
Yeah. Sorry. I was trying not to burp into the microphone. That felt unprofessional.
oh, I gotta step away really bad, really quick. Be right back.
All right. So, while he's stepping away, I'm going to just talk about how much I hate the LA Angels or the California Angels or the Anaheim Angels or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The fact of the matter is, they've had so many names, first of all. They don't win. They just sign people whose last names are Fish. Um, they don't, they can have two of the best players in baseball at the same time and still not make the playoffs. Just absolutely miserable, miserable um, organization. And I just, I feel bad for anyone that's an Angels fan. Like, I don't know, I don't know who hurt you, and I'm sorry about that. Like, I can't deal with the Angels at all, and I don't know why. Although I will say I will give them props. Their mid 2000, early 2000s rather, when they wore the pinstripes and the blue was one of my favorite uniforms of all time. The late 90s into the early 2000s, the Tim Salmon era. Angels, I did really enjoy those uniforms, but otherwise, I can't deal with the Angels. That's gonna be really fun for you when you get into the edit, Alex. Get
Oh, I'm just gonna. I already had a. I kind of hear when I left the room. I kind of heard a little bit, but I think I can just do the wheel spin and just see what your face is, and just it'll
Look.
work out.
I'll say
It'll
it
work.
right now. If the Angels win the World Series next year, I will drop that they are the most miserable franchise in the MLB. If they win the World Series next year, I will drop that. Um,
Chat. I'm holding him to that, by the way.
I will drop that assertion that they are the most miserable franchise in the MLB. And I probably misused that word, but I don't care.
It's fun.
So it'll be fun. Now you have something to actually watch baseball for when the Red Sox are miserable next year.
No, we'll be okay.
We'll just,
We're just gonna be interested in every free agent and then not
it's
sign.
fine. I think the Yankees are going to do the same thing.
No, they'll probably sign one of the bigger ones and then just like say they're gonna do something else and not do it.
Yeah, that's
No,
par
see,
for the
the
course.
Yankees will spend the money. The Red Sox won't.
Yeah, but the Yankees will spend the money and still miss the playoffs.
No, you
By the way, it felt like they missed the
actually
playoffs. How fast
hold on.
they got knocked out.
No, you guys have Garrett Cole coming back. You'll be fine.
If he's healthy and knows how to throw a baseball, maybe.
He what didn't he? What he got his elbow injury during spring training, didn't he?
Yes? Question
So,
mark?
so the earliest he could be throwing is by spring training, but he won't be pitching again until next summer, probably.
It's one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it.
And
To be
also, like
fair,
Tommy John is one of those injuries where like you just don't know until you actually like see something.
that's the other thing. But to be fair, I am amped for Cam
Yeah.
Schittler or however you pronounce his last name.
Yeah. Yeah. So he tore the ligament in March. He's not going to be ready for opening day, so the timeline is later in the spring, so probably like June, July.
But that Cam kid and Cole, that's two very solid pitchers already. So
Actually, they have as of
is
what
Freed
Friday?
back?
Yeah,
Okay.
he wasn't injured though.
No, I know, but I'm trying to figure out who the five are going to be for the Yankees.
It's going to be Rodon, Schlittler, Will Warren, Freed, Heel. It'll probably be whatever the starting five was this year.
I mean, to be fair, the Yankees also do benefit like guys like Nestor Cortez who have not been as good since they left New York. To be fair, he had a great game with the Brewers this year. He did at the beginning of the year because I remember seeing those highlights and being like, "Damn, I miss Nestor."
Yeah, so if I'm right here. It'll be Rodon, Freed, Warren, Clark Schmidt, Schlittler, and maybe if they do six, it would be Heel. But if it's five, I think they put Schmidt in the bullpen, Schmidt or Warren in the bullpen because I think Cam Schlittler's pitched his way to a rotation spot unless I'm missing something.
Unless he decides he wants to become just the next crazy reliever. It wouldn't
It'll
be the
be
first.
interesting what they decide to do.
It wouldn't be the first time the Yankees have a pretty good pitcher transition to being a reliever.
But I think what they'll do is I think they'll make a decision when Garrett Cole comes back. It's not a decision they need to worry
I'm
about
not gonna lie. I
until
think
at
Cole's
least
gonna be a
June.
bullpen arm.
That's just a bad take. I'm sorry. Like he's gonna.
Hear me out.
You're
Hear,
not paying him what you're paying him. You're not paying him what you're paying him to be in the bullpen. But they're gonna pitch count him and then he'll work his way back.
hear me out. Hear me out. You're right. Most of what you're saying, you're correct. But there has to be some merit, especially when he comes back, putting him in the bullpen, putting him in his rotating him through the bullpen instead of starting him. First of all, and then again, obviously, neither of us work for that organization. Neither of us know the um, inner workings of that organization. But if if I'm the Yankees organization, hey, we have a guy. He's a little older. He's coming off a elbow injury. I had to remember what Tommy John was for a second. Bullpen him. If he's successful in the bullpen and your rotation is being successful, he can pitch more frequently because he's throwing less pitches. And that would be dangerous to have an arm like Cole's consistently coming out of the bullpen. So you're right, they are paying him a lot of money, but it's the New York Yankees who pay everyone in monopoly money, just like the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
the argument of well, you won't pay him that much to be a reliever. Well, it's the Yankees, so feasibly they could pay him that much to be a reliever.
Yeah, but I think Cole's one of the frontline starters who knows how he's feeling. So it's almost going to be like
I
when
agree.
he does come back, like is he
I
going to throw 90 pitches right away? No, no one does that. It's insane to even try to think about. But if he throws his first start out, it'll probably be 40 ish at most.
so that's my point of will he start the year as a reliever, like his year as a reliever, to get him back into the flow of things, and then you figure out who's going into the pen to take him out into your starting rotation, unless he's comfortable and enjoys that reliever role.
I mean, I think you kind of see it when Shohei started coming, like when Shohei came back this year. Like Shohei would basically be an opener, so
Mm-hmm.
they put him in a relief kind of hook, like a you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they probably go the same route because Shohei really didn't get a full pitch count until later in the year anyway.
That's
So that's how I see it. Is that they're gonna put him on the similar like kind of that like they're not gonna force him to throw 90 until probably closer to the end of the summer, maybe like late September.
no,
But
that's a completely fair take, but I think there's also a chance that if he starts the year as a reliever, his year as a reliever again, he's not, as we've established, he's not going to start the year. But if he starts his year as a reliever and the Yankees organization and him agree, hey, this is actually working out rather well. I feel good, whatever. And and I want to pitch every day. That that is a feasible role I could see him slotting into. Maybe not for the whole season. I think you're right. He probably won't end up back as a starting pitcher. but we won't know until we see it. And I'm just saying I could see that as a thing that happens. That they put him in a relief capacity in a position that he likes, that the organization likes, that's both feel is successful as well. Because that's the other thing I think. Um, at the end of the day, if it's successful and it's leaning to Yankees wins, I don't think the organization would be like, we're not going to do that anymore. You know?
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents on the matter.
Yeah.
It might be like 4 cents due to inflation. That was a good joke, damn it, and you know it.
Yeah, but then you got to bring economics into it, and I'm not an economics guy.
You should be. You're in sports. Sports is so tied to economics. It's not even funny.
Yeah, but you do that. I just point a camera at people.
Fair.
I was contemplating putting a microphone on you
You see, I
one
agree.
year.
I agree with Cali guy in our chat. You have no sense of humor.
All right, I gotta talk to this. What a flank.
I agree with him 100%. You just, I made probably one of the better jokes I've made in the years we've been friends, and it went right over your head.
Yeah,
Frank card in the mouth.
he knows what this is. He knows
Good,
exactly what
good.
that
I'm
is.
glad. I'm glad we've spread that piece of knowledge.
All right. Stay in the baseball lane, or yeah, World Series.
Yeah. What was your reaction to the 7 games? First of all, I'm upset the Dodgers won, but
Am
damn,
I surprised?
was
No.
I'm not. Also, I'm not surprised. Was it a good series? Yes. Was I super excited? We finally had another 7 game World Series for the first time since pre-COVID. Yes. So there was a lot of positives to the negative.
Yeah, and I think having it with a team that I don't think the Jays were very expected to make it that far.
No, they played it. They played great down the stretch. Um, and then obviously
I'm saying year round, but I think like the fact that they were able to hang for the most part, they were able to hang with the Dodgers.
that that's the point I'm trying to make. Like they played great when it mattered. September through November, because the World Series ended in November, the Jays looked really good, and I was shocked. And then, like, obviously, the Yankees had to play the Red Sox in the wild card. They didn't win the division. That sucked. I'm still mad that that was a wild card round because the prospect of a 7 game series between the Red Sox and Yankees fires me
That's what
up.
it should have. Yeah, I think that's like for nostalgic baseball too.
Just
That's just like
inject that rivalry and a 7 game series between those two straight into my veins. Like I won't need caffeine for the next year and a half. But that's the thing, right? It wound up being a wild card round, and it was a great wild card. It was a great wild card. And then the Yankees lost to the Jays, and I was like, well, that sucks. Whatever. Like I'm upset about that because I didn't think the Jays were the better team, but they clearly were. They won a series. They're definitely the better team. I'll admit that. And then they beat Seattle, and I was a little shocked they beat Seattle because I thought Seattle was the better team. And then, of course, the Dodgers, it felt like cakewalked their way, except for the Brewers, kind of cakewalked their way through.
yeah, but when you have a when you have a team that wasn't afraid to flex the financial muscle, you kind of get what you got with how the Dodgers' path looked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was during the CS where like there was a I think Passon had an article out that's kind of saying that I think the Dodgers winning out was basically what happened. It kind of he's going to give some owners. He didn't specify which ones, but you can kind of figure out which ones.
Oh, I think
Kind of on the precipice of the salary cap, which is going to be an interesting storyline to follow as we get into the
I was
winter.
gonna say I think your smaller market teams, not lower teams, but your smaller market teams, your Reds, your A's, your
Pirates,
your Pirates, sure, the
Rockies,
yeah, the Rays.
like
I don't know if I said them
yeah,
already, but the
I guess
the Marlins,
I guess
the
the
White
teams
Sox.
the least financially committed teams, I guess,
Yeah,
for lack of a better
yeah,
term
you're
there.
gonna have a lot more of those owners and upper managements being like, it might be a good idea. And to be
It's because
fair, I could see certain of the bigger teams, the, the dog shit Angels, for example, getting on board with that, even though they do spend money.
does it pan out? No, but I think the idea I've heard floated around at least on a couple other podcasts that I tune into is that if they're not going to do a cap, right? So these 600, 5, 6, $700 million deals can just kind of free flow. Why not implement like a floor so that some of these lower teams actually have to put money down?
Well, because in the case of the Reds, they'll just pay Ellie De La Cruz whatever the floor amount is, and they'll be like, "Yep, we're good. We hit that."
And they also have to do it with Hunter Green unless they're going to trade him. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of their strategy. If they don't want to pay a guy, they're going to trade him for prospects and just
That's how
win.
they've been, which is why I was shocked at the deadline. First of all, the Reds went out and they brought in Gavin Lux to begin the year, and then at the deadline went and got Key Brian Hayes. I was like, "This isn't the Cincinnati Reds I'm used to like
Yeah,
memeing on
no.
my whole life." One of my friends in high
It's
school
like
said it best, and this is not a slight at the Reds at all. Let me preface it that the Angels are just the Reds when the Reds spend money.
I think it's also just one of those things where it's like you gotta have to find this equal ground of like like I think the Pirates are gonna. I think how the Pirates handle Paul Skeens in his contract
You mean
in a
future
couple
New
of
York
years.
Yankee Paul Skeens?
Future non-Pittsburgh Pirate Paul Skeens.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I would like to see
yeah,
him as a
that
Yankee,
that's been the
as a Yankees
example thrown
fan.
around too. Like Paul Skeens has been the example thrown around for the last 6 months of this whole conversation. Whenever it's been thrown around,
Oh, you're gonna see
of like
Skeens, De La Cruz, Hunter Green. Who else plays for a
um,
small team that's just really good?
no one. Well, we can rule out the Rockies.
Oh, by the way,
Probably Nick Kurtz of the A's, maybe
Nick Kurtz, yeah, that's a good one. He
Jacob
came out of
Wilson.
nowhere, it felt like.
Yeah, Jacob Wilson too.
But going back to the
But
World
I
Series
think
for a second, in Game 7, I think you know this. One of my favorite players in the MLB right now is Miguel Rojas. I've Dude got me an A on a project in college. Um,
shout him out, bro. Shout him
um,
out.
Dude got me an A on a scouting and player development project because I said, and it was actually like 10 years ago now. God damn. When I was in that class, I was like, he will be a key piece of a World Series victory for whatever club he plays for sometime in the next 5 to 10 years. And even though he's an older player at the time, because he was like 28 when we did this project. So it wasn't quite 10 years
Yeah.
ago now because he's like 35. But it was funny, like hearing the announcer talk about how he was like a glue guy and like was a key part of the Dodgers this year. Not necessarily numbers wise, but morality wise. And
Even
it made me feel really good that I called that, in like
mhm.
2016 or 17, whenever I took that class.
And I think he changed his number
He changed it back
for
to his original
somebody.
number.
He changed it for someone. I think he changed it for Snell, maybe.
All I know is when he
He
came
changed
up,
it for someone.
when he came up when we were in middle school, he was number 72 when he came up for the Dodgers in like 2012 or whatever it was. So we were in high school, but
Oh yeah, okay. He gave it up for Roki. That's who it was.
and then so when he changed back this year, I was like, oh, that's wild. When I saw him in the playoffs wearing the 72 again, I was like, oh, that's wild. He doesn't care what his jersey number is. He cares
No,
that he cares about the name on the front and the fact his name's on the back.
the fact he's on the team, I think that's the bigger
Dude,
interest here. Is that he's
if I'm in my considering I'm turning 30 in February, if I was on a professional
on.
sports roster at 30 years old or older, I wouldn't care what the number was I was wearing. I'd be like, dude, I'm on the roster. That's so fucking cool. I get to be the old guy that everyone's like, it's a miracle he's still playing. You know? That's how I look at it.
Yeah. And
Also,
another glue guy.
Kike Hernandez also was another one of those glue guys. It looked like.
Another glue guy, bro. Yeah, Kike was just on a heater this year, man. Like, this October Kike is just something else.
He played really good baseball, too. Um, the catch, though, in
People are
game.
always hitting the 180. It's like, doesn't matter.
Bro, there's a reason the managers get paid, especially the ones that are managing MLB teams that are perennial playoff teams. There's a reason he's batting a guy that's batting under 200. There's a reason that guy is playing, and it's not for his bat. And I think the that catch there was that game 7 as well when he got absolutely
Yeah,
trucked.
because yeah, because the Pajes missed it. It would have been that would have been a walk off. I think if I remember in the situation.
Yes. No, I agree. That would have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
easily
Pajes.
was a walk off.
So,
That catch
yeah,
doesn't get made.
Pajes.
I remember
So
watching it in real time and thinking about this is how old I am. I remember thinking about Johnny Damon when he got his concussion with the Red Sox in '03. Do you remember that? Or am I just old as dirt?
vaguely, probably both, but
But I remember watching that game on TV and being like, "Hey dad," cuz I'm 7 at the time. Yeah, I'm 7 at the time. And I'm like, "Hey dad, what just happened?" And he's like, "Oh, he basically just friggin' died on the field." In a much more appropriate way to talk to a child. But just watching that, and I've seen that hit a million
yeah,
times, and that was the first thing I thought of when I saw Kike get hit. I was like, "Oh crap!" Like, great, the Dodgers lose, the Blue Jays win, right before obviously you finish seeing the catch actually happens, just in the real time. And I'm like, "Oh, this man just had a really bad hit. He's gonna be
he just got
messed
his
up."
yeah.
He got his bell wrong.
I don't think he. It's just like it seemed like whatever plays were going on, like any shot at a walk off they had, the Dodgers kept getting bailed out by the ball. Just like the Blue
It
Jays hitter
died.
just missing the ball and off to where it didn't die, where it died exactly.
And who was it? Was that Springer that didn't take the secondary lead on the slide at home?
Springer,
He
no, that
was
was
playing
kind of
hurt too, which
Falefa because
was
I think
terrible.
if we
Oh,
took
kind
an
of fluff.
extra step or two, I think yeah, if we took an
Once he was
so
literally a step.
Springer in the first yeah, but Springer in the first inning, he was trying to steal, and I think Guerrero went down looking, but Springer stopped like 2/3 of the way down the line, so that made up for the throw.
Hmm.
Um, it's just if kind of Falefa took that extra step, he would. I think what everybody was saying was he would have been able to slide in as Will Smith's foot was off the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it looked like it was just enough off the plate to where he could have slid in and made it, but
So like I was working when Game 7 started, so I got home right, and by the time I got it turned on, it was probably a pitch or two before the Rojas game tying home run.
yeah,
Like the first result that I watched was that home run. But like I think I saw a pitch
yeah,
or two prior to the actual pitch that was the home run pitch. Which is fine, like whatever, it is what it is. But
it's just
overall,
kind of
I'm
it's kind of one
amped.
of those things.
I'm amped for the state of baseball though, because like I was so
Yeah,
enthralled by that World Series, and neither team was my team. So that was the good news. I'm hoping that the adrenaline stays up for World Baseball Classic in March.
I'm gonna be all over that.
I'm a big fan of World Baseball Classic. So I'm also reading the captions as it's coming through, and it heard World Baseball Classic as I'm a big fan of Oil Baseball Classic, and that just sounds terrible. I don't know what oil baseball is, and I don't want to know.
Yeah,
So, are we gonna get into a Z conference?
yeah. I think we can wrap it up here.
Alrighty. So you said
All
it's the
right, pal.
0102.
It's Conference USA men's basketball.
All right.
And I do have a bonus question for you, but there's no points attached to it. I just want to see if you can actually get it right.
Okay. So I'm gonna use my knowledge of NCAA football 04 here real quick, and we're gonna knock off. First of all, how many schools is it?
14.
14. So I have to get to 7 to get
Actually,
my
it might
fourth
be
strike.
13. It might actually, hold on.
It
Let me
might be
count.
13.
Yeah, 14.
Okay. So I know that at in around this time, I know Charlotte 49ers were a CUSA team. I know the
Yep.
UAB Blazers.
Yep.
I know because I was relatively recently at UC that UC went to the tournament from the CUSA that year.
Mm-hmm.
I know Houston was a CUSA school at one point.
Yep.
Then you have DePaul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of other schools because unfortunately CUSA is one of those ones that's kind of a shotgun.
Yeah.
Is this is this the point where Memphis is in the CUSA?
That final answer?
Yeah, that is a final answer. That is a official guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's which means Tulane's probably also in the CUSA at this point.
Yep.
Which means you also have Southern Mississippi.
Yeah. But I think Southern Miss is still there. So I got to look at current alignment, but I think Southern Miss is still there.
South Florida is currently in the CUSA, right? So I'm assuming they were at that point.
They are then. I think they're in the American now.
Oh, okay.
Because the American came from the dissolution of one conference in particular.
And I know because I have a friend that went there. ECU is a CUSA school. That's East Carolina.
Yeah.
They're the Pirates. They're Purple Pirates. I always thought it was funny. How many do I have left? I haven't been counting. I won't lie to you. I haven't been counting.
3.
3 left.
Yeah.
I've done numbers on this one. How well do you think I know the 3 that are left?
I think you can get 2.
Think I can get 2?
Yeah.
Did I say TCU already?
No.
Okay. And TCU, I know they
Yep.
were at one point.
Yep.
I'm assuming Louisville was at some point, so I'll guess Louisville.
Yep.
In theory, I have 1 left.
Yeah, this one's probably the one you might have to start just guessing by your geography.
Marquette? I know that's in that area.
Oh, I did leave Marquette out. Yep.
Okay.
So
So
yep,
now
you're
I'm
good.
at 1.
Now you're at 1. Yep.
Okay. So you kind of gave me a big hint there, Alex.
Oh, I mean, if you look at like, I think you can put the mental map in your head of like you're just kind of crossing off like
I'm going to say
and
outside
putting
of
the
the
kind
North
of things
Carolina
on.
schools because DePaul's in Chicago,
Yeah.
Cincinnati's in Cincinnati, Louisville's in Louisville,
That would be geographically correct. Yeah.
Tulane's in New Orleans. So we're looking Midwest. Like that's kind of what you've told me.
Yeah, but I think
The
I'm
only
gonna omit this.
the only state I can think of that we haven't hit that is a kind of fits in that region of states is going to be a school in Missouri. And I know it's not Missouri because they've been in the SEC since the beginning of time.
I thought they were in a different. I thought Missouri moved in from somewhere else, but that might be something to look up.
I thought they were in the SEC from the beginning of time.
No.
Regardless, I know for a fact they were definitely not associate themselves with the CUSA. And that's not saying anything about the CUSA. That's just
No, I think they were part of the SWAC, and that was still the SWAC before that
okay.
moved around.
Okay. Fair. Can you tell me the current conference that the school is in?
That I don't even know.
And can I guess that it's an A10 school? If it's a school I think it is, I think they're in the A10.
I have to go to like. Hold on. Let me just go back.
Yes, the school I think it is a current A10 school.
So I'll just be out with it. Is there a Google machine over here?
St. Louis.
Yeah.
My favorite A10 school because St. Louis, Missouri is very much in the Atlantic.
All right. So now I have to go back to my original. All right. So you do have a bonus question here.
Okay.
So,
I just Googled, by the way, I Googled U St. Louis men's basketball, and I got the St. Louis Billikens men's basketball team is an intercollegiate men's basketball program representing St. Louis University. They compete in the A10 conference.
So
I'm literally on the landing
Cincinnati
page.
was so from December through the beginning of March of that year, Cincinnati was in the ranking, was in the AP poll. What was their highest position in the AP poll in 2001, 2002?
2.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Were they number 1 at one point that year?
They were not number. They were not number one. Do not put the state of Ohio that high on a
I
basketball pedigree.
I want you to know that wouldn't surprise me if 2000 early 2001 season a CUSA school was number 1 in the country. That's the point I'm trying to make. Was it top 5?
They were top five.
Okay, so it's fourth.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had
Now,
gone to the
now we're gonna
tournament
look.
that year.
Yeah, because they won the conference that year. They won the regular season and conference outright.
Is that a Yukon national championship or is that a Kentucky national championship?
I don't know.
Because it
That's
feels like
the Maryland national championship.
that's the year Maryland won was 01.
Yeah, Duke was the consensus number one, and the final four was Indiana, Kansas, Maryland, and Oklahoma.
Okay. Okay. I mean, to be fair, Duke basketball
Yeah,
being ranked
so
highly is not a shock to anyone.
no, but UCU was I'm gonna average it out. Their final spot was fifth. Marquette was their final spot was 12th, and then you have like the usual like Western Kentucky was 24th or 19th in the poll, and Xavier was 22nd. So it's like you can. That's when Miami was in the Big East still. That was before
Yep.
that. Like BC was in the Big East, Butler was
I
in
was
the
gonna say
Horizon, all
this
that
is
kind of.
when the Big East was like
It
different.
wasn't like what it was. It's not what it is now. Yeah, because actually, no, that's when Virginia Tech, Rutgers, Syracuse, and West Virginia were still there. And Notre Dame was in the Big East for a while, and then they moved everything around to where it is now.
So I won't give you the year because again, you don't get the year until the day of. But your conference guess, Alex, is going to be Hockey East.
I'm gonna
Men's
guess
Hockey
UMass
East.
Minutemen for the daily double.
Like I said, one of the 2 years I'm looking at, UMass would be a proper answer. One of the 2 years I'm looking at, UMass would not be a proper answer. They were not in the Hockey East at this point.
Who are Boston College and University for the triple double?
I believe they are founding Hockey East schools. So yes.
Oh, well, that happened.
What?
Antonio Brown got arrested today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's totally not off his rocker or anything. Yeah.
All right. Anything else
All
tonight
right.
before we wrap it up here, bud?
No, are we same time next week?
Same time next week. About 7:05.
All right. Just for people that text me about it, not adding anyone in chat or anything like that.
All right. Alex,
All
have
right, bud.
yourself a good night. I will see you in a little bit.
See you next birth year.